Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. I'm Jean Falakara, your host, and my guests are coming to this show not to sell any product, but to tell us the story. I want to know who they are, where they're coming from, what kind of kids they were. At the end of the day, we're all unique snowflakes. So let's get them here and let's learn. Welcome to the New Plan B podcast. Today, I have pleasure to have Melina Gioia. Her nickname is Biohacker. She is the real biohacker from Latin America. She's actually the only one, I would say. But Melina, welcome to the No Plan B podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself? It's going to be way better than if I do it.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so happy to be here with you and with the whole No Plan B community. This is fabulous. Well, my name is Melina Vicario. I am known as La Biohacker, the voice of biohacking in Spanish, and I am a mind technologist. I teach people how to think on purpose using tools from neuroscience, neurolinguistic programming, and design human engineering. And I also teach, share, and communicate biohacking to the Spanish-speaking community worldwide.
Wow. Yeah. I'm so excited because you know what? You're right in my field of interest, neuroscience, neurolinguistic programming, teaching how to use the brain properly and not negatively. This is like whatever the people can try to do. If they go that way, they're going to be better and they're going to be better performer in life. So it's fantastic to have you. I'm going to start right away with one question. La biohacker. What brought you to biohacking? Why?
Oh, well, I love this question. It was from a personal search. I was a very, very shy, very scared lady when I was younger. And not only when I was a kid, also when I was like around my 30s, I continued to be very shy, very scared lady. And in the middle of this path, looking for how to be more courageous, how to be able to make new friends, talk to people. I got offered a job in China. I moved to China. I found a lot of resources there inside myself. And I was wondering, how can we use this kind of resources on purpose? A lot of resources that many people use unconsciously. How can we decode them to use them on purpose for our goals? So at a moment of life, I found a book that is called Richard Bandler's Guide to Transformation. And it showed me a new way of thinking, an actual way of using our brain for a change. And for a long time, I have been using what we could call more traditional approach, where I was explaining why I was so shy and so scared, and look for the root and the history. And I knew that it was because I was bullied in school and my parents were overprotective, and I knew all the reasons, but that didn't solve my issue. And this is what I always want to clarify, that for people that this kind of approach is a solution, this is great. And for people that this is not a solution, they can find something else. And that is the wonder of it all. So I was, okay, I know the source, I know the reason, I know the history, and that is not giving me any solution. What else can I do to change the way I feel and to change what I can do? And I found this approach of changing your mental world, thinking on purpose, changing the mental representations. And this is where I learned that I was bullied in school. This happened in the past. Oh, because I had because of my nose, for example. I would be called like turtle nose or something like this. I was very skinny.
Oh my God.
I was very scared. I was like a very awkward little girl. I was so bad at sports. I continue to be quite bad. This is something maybe you can teach me to be better, because I know you are quite a sportsman. I was so bad at sports. A little girl with
Oh my!
I was the stereotype to be bullied. I was looking for it in every characteristic. Yeah,
Okay.
I was quite the stereotype to be bullied.
Okay.
And it's so good that I can now like laugh about it, because when I think about it, I think it differently. But before it was happening in my mental world all the time.
Yeah.
Not in the past, in the present, because I was doing it with my thoughts. The thing is that no one taught me how to remove a bad memory from the past, a bad representation that is not serving me. And this is what I learned. So I started removing all these mental representations from my mental world that were not serving me. And this is one of the main lessons that I learned. And it's that we think that we live in the world, but actually we live in our mental world. This is a kind of a holographic representations of the world, where we remember some things from the past, we make some anticipation of the future, and it has different characteristics in the visual, in the auditory, in the sensations, in the flavors, in the smells.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can actually. Everything we think that we have in memory is about 30% true. The rest is just like making up, and even if you tell yourself 10 times the same story, the 10th time the story will be totally different because of the build-up from your memory side, which makes us very interesting. And on the second phase, you have another point that is fantastic. We live in a holographic environment or world that is even more true today with the quantum entanglement, that the fourth dimension of time is something that we cannot understand as we are now today as humans, but we can be living in this moment and maybe just thinking that we're living in this moment. And at the same time, we can be living in another story totally different in another parallel world or dimension. This is fascinating. But you said a very cool point. You were removing the bad memories or the memory that were like hurting you. How do you do that? Because it's not that easy.
Well, I really like this question, and there's a technique that is called the swish pattern that allows to remove a bad representation from our mental world, whereas it is a bad memory from the past or a created mental representation, maybe something that never happened, but someone is thinking about it and it doesn't serve the person. So before we get on specifically how, there are some things that have to do with the previous programs or the user manual of the brain that we have to understand so that we are able to sit in the driver's seat of our brain. The first one is that the new paradigm changes the why to how. We are not asking why something happened to you, why are you worried, why are you anxious, because the principle is that your history doesn't determine your state, your mindset does. Mm-hmm. So what we are going to look for is how this person is programming this mental representation. Then the other principle is, if I change the way I think, it changes what I feel and it changes what I can do. So we can be the architects and the designers of our mental representation and our mental work. The other thing is, we were told that for us to change maybe the way we think, our behavior or our mental work, that the change is slow and painful, right? Mm-hmm. That it has to suffer and go through a lot of suffering, and that it will take a lot of time, and it's like a very hard, painful work. And the proposal from this approach, and it is supported from neuroscience, is that the brain learns better in a positive state. So yes. That when we are, yes, and I think that we agree on this. And mm-hmm. This is when we want to solve an issue, we need to build like new connections connections in our brain. Now, with the advances of neuroscience, we can see inside the brain. And for finding a solution, we need to make these new connections. And when we are in a positive state, we are more able to build these new connections. So I want to go like for very, very daily life examples in this. And it is to everyone, maybe this happened, like you lost your keys. Where are my keys? Oh my God, I have to be in a place and I cannot find my keys. And then you start getting more worried and thinking, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why I lost my keys? I'm going to be like, then you're more worried. And the more worried, you don't find your keys. Then suddenly you say, okay, I'm done. I'm going to be late. I don't care anymore. I'm going to play with my dog, or I'm going to put some music, something that I really like, right? And you start dancing or playing, oh, come here you with your dog, or something that makes you smile, like you're smiling now. And what happens then? Suddenly, I remember. Yes, I remember where I left my keys. And it seems like magic, but it's not magic. It is that you change your neurochemistry, and now you're more able to create these new neural connections, and you find your keys. But this translates to every other thing in life. So we want to change, we want to overcome fears, anxiety, etc. We want to find a solution for a life issue. It will work better if we are in a positive state, not in the, and I'm not saying that we never have to suffer, but it's, let's make it limited. Let's put like a limited time. Then let's look how to feel good for no reason at all.
I love it. And, please.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. Then the next one is, we were told that change is slow. Oh, it takes 1 year, 5 years of suffering. But now that we can see inside the brain, we see that the brain learns better, faster. The brain loves fast patterns. And I want to do a daily life example again. So if I show someone, I show one image one day. And then the next week, I show another image of a movie. And then the next week, I show another image. Then the person doesn't grasp the story. No. But if they see one next to the other, then our brain catches the pattern. Mm-hmm. So this means our brain loves fast and loves patterns. This is why we are actually able to change quickly and happily. When someone says, oh, it took me 1 year to start working out, actually, it's not that it took 1 year. The person was 1 year not doing it, and then suddenly something changed in their brain, and pattern came. Maybe they changed the way they think about the future, about their health, and then they made a decision, and it was quick. This is like some basic thing for this approach. Then the next thing is something a lot of people say, oh, I think every day I think about something that makes me feel bad. So the first thing is how. How do you know? How do you think about it? How do you know when to do it? So, and this is when people say, well, you see, maybe it will sound a little strange, but it's like I see my classmates bullying me, and they look at some place with their eyes. Yes, looking for this information that in general, and this is something that I also cover like in books and seminars, in general, when someone does like up and to the left, it's a visual remembered. Memory, yes. Yeah. And memory. So they're like, this is in general for white people. So they're, so, okay, I think about, I remember when, and where do you see, let's suppose they say, yeah, I see it here. And is it a movie or is it a plain image? It's a movie. Okay, and is it small, big, or bigger than life? It's bigger than life. Okay, and is it in colors or black and white? And you start getting all these details or sub-modalities, sub-characteristics of the size, where it is located, black and white or color, is it in 3D or flat? Does it have sounds? Where do the sounds come from? Does it have any sensation, any smell, any taste? And you identify these characteristics. So then let's suppose that this representation is here. The first thing that I do is, okay, now you identify the representation that is linked to the neural network of this thought. Then I tell them, okay, how much does this affect you from 1 to 10? And maybe they say 8. Then I say, what if you make this even bigger? Make it like bigger and brighter and make it really huge. And they do it, and you can see in their face, they don't like it. So like now, how much is it affecting you from 1 to 10? 10, 11, like a lot. It's bad. It's affecting me more. But the good thing is that they notice that they have the control, because if they can increase, they can also decrease, and they have they are in the driver's seat. If they make bigger, they feel worse. So they're like, okay, it feels good. Like it's not something.
You're not under the control of your thought. It's you controlling your thoughts. That is beautiful.
Yes. It's so beautiful, because many people think that a way of feeling, like feeling anxious, is something external, like a mosquito bite. I feel anxious. And no, this is linked with a thought.
Yeah, build up. It's actually, you explained it beautifully, because, we see on those social media or influencer speeches or talks, people, you have to be on control of your thought. You need to control your thought. But no one explains them the process of doing it. Like, okay, control your thought. How do I control my thought? You just explained it. It's fantastic. It's like, describe it, then make it bigger, make it smaller. It's you controlling it. That is a fantastic explanation. Thank you for that. I love it. It's very cool. Very nice.
Thank you. Like I love it, and I agree so much with you, because it is true. Many people like control, but how do you do that? You identify these characteristics, and then what I tell them is to move their mental representation to the other side. If they're seeing it on the right, move it to the left. If it's on the left,
so left up is visual memory. I'll switch it to right top. What it is like.
Well, actually, what we're doing in changing, besides the eye movement, allows us to identify if the person is remembering something visual or is remembering something more auditory, or because sometimes it is a little challenging for the person to identify the mental representation, because no one taught them. They have never done it. They're used saying why, not how. But if we change the representation to the other side, then there is a change in the neural network, and the intensity lowers to half. I have seen it so many times. Then it changed to half, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like now it affects me much less. This is wonderful. And then we can do the switch pattern. That is, you put a border all with your mind. You put a border, and you make it black and white very fast, black and white, and then you make it into a point very fast, and then you like throw it away, make it go very far away. And this is how you're teaching your brain to remove that mental representation from your mental world, which is fabulous.
It is fabulous. Now I have plenty of questions for you, because I was listening to the story from A to Z. And I'm going to start from the first that came to my mind when you were talking about you lost your keys, and instead of being under a panic attack because you lost your keys, and of course, or your phone is even worse today. If you lose your phone, like people are freaking out. And you say, instead of being on panic, just start dancing or do something else. My question to you, if we teach people to do that, where do we stop them for being irresponsible by saying like, okay, I have a meeting, I lost my phone or I lost the key of my car, I cannot go to the meeting, I don't care, I'm going to dance and I'm not going to the meeting. So there's this limit of our responsibilities and our behaviors. How do we handle that? That's my first question.
Yes, I love the question that you're making. And I think that in order to not have to arrive to this kind of situation where we are so stressed that we don't remember where we left our key cards, or we are so stressed that we forget a meeting or that we forget important things. This is because of stress, anxiety, that is something that is affecting many people. And this is the stress and anxiety is in the mental world is for two reasons. Like one is a very low biological battery, like the mitochondria is so tired, right? And our energy is bad. It's very challenging to think on purpose. Exactly. So when later we can talk about this thing, of course, it is fundamental to have enough battery, like life battery, energy battery, and then what you do with that battery with your thoughts. So there are two ways to get anxious with your thoughts. Even if your battery, your energy is high, but then you're thinking bad memories of the past or a bad anticipation of the future, then you're going to feel anxious and you're going to make bad decisions and you're going to lose things. This is how it goes. So how do we prevent this? And I want to talk about some hierarchy of life. So we were saying, if I change the way I think, it changes what I feel, it changes what I can do, it changes my habits, then my personality, and then my destiny. This is like chain, right?
Yeah.
Thought, the feeling, the doing, the habits, the personality, and the destiny. So let's take a moment to decide what is our desired destiny. And that, by the way, there are some analysis that has been made, and that happy people have some characteristics in common, and is that their life purpose, their desired destiny is bigger than themselves. So it improves the life of them and other people.
Yeah.
They follow it in a relentless way, they follow it in a purposeful way, and they think on purpose. Let's talk about this for a moment. So when we are clear about our desired destiny, we ask ourselves, what I'm thinking every day is
well,
this...
hold on.
Yes.
That is a tough question, because on the number of thoughts that cross our mind at the second, so what am I thinking every day? That is a difficult question, because I can be thinking about sex, about food, about wine, about sport, about business, about money, about whatever, and it all like floating into my mind. So which one I choose?
Good. Yeah, I really love how you're challenging me with the questions, and I love it. So if we write, let's suppose that we write the main thoughts that we identify in our daily life, and we ask ourselves if they are aligned with our desired destiny. So, for example, many people think I'm ugly, I'm not good enough. Life is horrible. How many horrible things are in the world? I can't accomplish anything. So these kind of thoughts, they are not aligned with a desired destiny of I can create anything, I'm powerful, the world is full of opportunities. Because generally we think in automatic, not on purpose. If we are not directing our brain will go to negative. Yes, and let's not get on adventures and follow our dreams. No, we have to do that on purpose. So my proposal is that we choose our thoughts on purpose and we write them down. What I choose to think every day, and there's another step on this. First, we choose what are the 20, 10, 5 thoughts on purpose that it's not only the declaration, it's the thought that we are going to give them life with the visual, the auditory, the sensations, the not only saying like life is great, life is great, life is great.
Self-thought. Yeah.
Right? But
that
it's because
work.
it's not just the phrase, repeating the phrase only. Yeah. We don't know if are we installing it with certainty? Are we installing it with excitement? Are we installing it with the passion? With crispness? With fun? This is the way to install it. Are we making it like 3D, colorful, bigger than life? Are we putting it in our mental world versus saying life is great, life is great, life is great? This is very different, right? But first, let's choose. It could be life is great, life is wonderful, I can do anything, the world is full of opportunities, how much fun can I have? Also the question that we ask every day, direct our mental focus. If I ask how many horrible things are in the world, I'm going to find that. But if I ask how much pleasure can I stand doing what I love every day, this is what I'm going to find. How many people are going to smile at me, or how many smiles I am going to put in someone else, this is what I will find, and this is what I will do. So I write this down, and every day when we wake up, we probably have heard like in podcasts or before from the biohackers, things like look at the natural sun before look. So from this point of view is do that, and also install your thoughts on purpose in your mental world with these backup characteristics, that is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. Make it huge, make it 3D, make it colorful, put some music, put some orchestra. The good thing is that the more you practice, the more wonderful things you can do in your mental world.
Okay. Now, we're right into it. I love this concept. Some people will listen to you and go like, yeah, but I'm not sure how to do that to have a thought on purpose or an idea on purpose of some things that I would like to do on purpose. And you say like, you have to get your auditory, your visual, your taste and everything. Let's pretend that I'm a kid that is 11 years old and I don't know that, but I would love to learn. You're going to tell me on all these segments that you said, okay, I'm taking one thought on purpose. How do I make it visual? How do I make it olfactory, sensory, tasty? What are the steps? Do I imagine like tasting with my mouth the concept of it? Could you go into details on that? That would be fantastic for our audience because they can practice it then.
Yes, absolutely. So would you tell me which thought on purpose, so for the education reason, which is the thought on purpose that you would like to install?
Well, I have many every day that I would love to do. Of course, I would love to change this world to make it better. But let's start with the very simple one.
Yes.
My goal today would be to make just one person happy.
Okay. I can say we could choose the thought that I can make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So you can close your eyes for a moment, and everyone listening to this podcast can do the same in their home. Like choose one thought of purpose that is in positive, like not I don't want to do something. Positive.
Like the creation of some things that makes you better.
So I can make people happy. So this certainty that you can make people happy, is it an image or is it a movie?
That's a tough question. It's an image at start, and then it can turn into a movie if you put more focus into it.
Oh, good. Okay, so then we start identifying. Then is it? And I'm going to ask a lot of questions that you reply in your mind, and later
not okay.
Yes, but because I'm going to name a few. So and it is great if you put more focus, it becomes a movie. Then is it in black and white or is it in colors? Is it three-dimensional?
Yeah, it's kind of faded at the beginning. I can see a couple of colors, but it's not bright colors.
Okay. Is it in 3 dimensions or flat?
It's a 3 dimension because I can see some sort of depth into the image.
And then you continue, like, is there any, are you associated there or are you seeing it from the far? And then you go, is there any sounds or any music or any voice? And then people start getting, oh, maybe I'm seeing it and I'm saying it, or someone else is saying it.
I'm creating the scene. When you first asked me about the thought, I said, okay, I said, I want to make one person happy. And you said, let's make people happy. When you said that, my mind turned into, I see several people that I cannot see the faces, of course, because it's in my imagination. And I see several people smiling. Then you ask me, is it in color or not? I think back and I see like faded, but the colors come. And then do you identify yourself into the scene? No, yes and no, I'm looking at them. So, but if I put my thought more into it, yes, I can jump into the scene. So you're actually creating it from scratch, from one sentence, one up to the extreme of creating a magic world.
Yes, I love it. And has it happened that as you identify all these characteristics, the impact in yourself is bigger? Mm-hmm. The enthusiasm, like for people that are watching this podcast, they can see your smile.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see that our imagination can create moments that makes us happy. Like if I keep going, as you said, in this creation of environment, I would definitely feel happy seeing these people happy around me and having this world happy. So, because then you're going to see, do you smell perfume or something? And everything contributes to creating this neuronal pathway that is a form of memory. Okay, so now I have another question for you.
Yes.
You know that today, virtual reality, extended reality is making a big jump into our lives. This pattern of creating purpose on some ideas of some of our thoughts in the morning or during the day or whatever, probably on your job, applying virtual reality, helping people to at the same time, not just creating these images in their mind, having maybe artificial intelligence, listening to what they're saying and creating that environment that they can see in 3D would be a big jump for people to be like in the magic world, but virtual.
It is very interesting. My opinion is that when we train how to program our mental world, and this is a wonderful skill for life, for anything. It has opened so many doors for me and for everyone that is using it, because it allows you to increase the richness of your mental world, your own abilities. It gives personal freedom. I think I have tried all these virtual machines, and nothing compares to the power of my own mental. Yes,
of course. We're going to be there. Soon we're going to be there. Like we're going to be able to definitely translate exactly what imagination can create into virtual world. But it's technology. It's not yet there. I agree with you. Okay, that's awesome. My second question. And I love. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can I add one little thing?
Of course.
When we install these thoughts, in your mental world, in this holographic mind, is this grid around you, like information grid, mental representation grid around you, before exposing yourself to any other information, before social media, before talking to your mom, before answering emails. First, install your thoughts on purpose, because the quality of our life is the quality of our mental world, the quality of our thoughts. Then we make it really robust in 3D with the colors and the sounds. Like I like to use the music from, when I think about my goals, I like to use the music from Indiana Jones, like dun, 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 dun. It's so good. And then when I learned this, I identified that when I was thinking about my goals, maybe I was thinking, no,
that's cool.
Indiana Jones. It's cool, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can put or you can put Mozart or the Fifth Symphony from from Beethoven and like go down. Yeah, wow, I see it. I see what you mean, and it's important. Actually, that was a very important point because we started by saying like we need to see the light in the morning, like Huberman is beating all across the planet, and it is a true fact. Some people try to put their mind aligned and have those projection of ideas on purpose before they jump out of their bed. I've heard like some biohackers as well doing that, but they say like I stay in bed like for 5 minutes and I make a list of my day and action that I'm going to take, and then I get out of the bed. I don't do that. I do the way you just said. I go outside on the balcony, look at the sun, and I make some thought, and then I do a bit of meditation as well. But does it make a difference? The most important is probably not looking at the phone, but that is something that is so true.
Well, it is. The thing is, and this is a very interesting point, that it's important to make the mental work robust, very robust, your thoughts on purpose that you choose for yourself, because even for some well-intentioned people can make some bad suggestions or bad representations into your mental work. Let's suppose a loving mother can say, oh my God, I want to tell you the world is so dangerous. You have to, don't go out because there's some danger in the street or something like this. Or be careful, the world is a very scary place.
And there's only bad people around there, and there's no friends, or I get that.
Something like this, right? And maybe this person, maybe I can't say this out of love, but you talk to this person, and if it's an authority figure in your life, like, I don't know, a mother, a beloved friend that you look up to or something
I'm
like
a punk. There is no authority in my life. I'm joking, but please keep going. It was a joke.
So this could happen, and maybe if we are not aware, this can come into our mental world, and maybe we don't want that. We don't want to have that in our mental world. So, but if we install our thoughts on purpose, the world is wonderful. Then there's no space for that bad suggestion from another person.
I see.
Even from the news, from the social media, from
the worst. Actually, the news are the worst. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV for a reason. It's a building up of negativity in our life that we don't need. If you need to have information, you go when you're ready, when your mind is open enough to accept them, but don't get washed or brainwashed by the news in the morning when you wake up and put the TV on. That's awful. Or open up your phone. Even like you like social media, but the impact of social media is negative most of the time. There is not much positivity or fake positivity that puts you down instead of making you bigger. The interesting fact is you studied neuroscience and in a very nice university in the US. And it's the best actually. So do you think that neuroscience will replace psychologists? Because your job is helping people to get better, to make their thoughts on purpose, to control them, to not feeling fear or sadness too much and all these bad feelings that can affect our lives. But this is also the role of psychologists. What's the difference?
Yes, well, I really believe in integration, and I think that a lot of psychologists are combining all this mind technology into their practices. And I'd say that I have studied many things in my life. The neuroscience was great. Yes, it was in a prestigious place. Then, and it helped me give a scientific background to different techniques or approach that I use to help people. And I say I am an advocate of what works. I am an advocate of the practical. I would try different things until I find something that works. If for someone it works to explain the problem and talk about why it happened and then it is solved, then great, love it.
Yeah.
The people who come to me are the ones that try this and that didn't work and they want to try something else. Okay, so we learn this user manual of the brain and we do the switch pattern and we do the thinking on purpose and we install some other thoughts in the mental world and we use some biohacking to increase the energy and people think different things and then suddenly they're feeling better and they're happier and they connect better with their family. I've seen people with agoraphobia that now are going to concerts every week or something like this.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then what was it that worked well? I think that a little bit is the love, a little bit is the connection, a little bit is the techniques, the different techniques. And I think that people who do the kind of job that I do is very important. Like I believe that I will find a solution.
So that's resilience of finding the solution is probably the difference between we have a very bad health system in North America, and we don't fight for solution. We try to find the magic pill that gets the solution, and this is like SSRI and all these medication that are like so bad for our health. So when you say you're using techniques, you're a biohacker, and we're very similar on several aspects of our lives, trying stuff and doing things. And are you using like neurostimulators, like I would say neurovisor or brain stimulator, infrared brain stimulators, or transcranial direct stimulation, and then to help these guys to have a better neuroplasticity and help building up some new pathways. And then after the certain treatment, you said like you see them getting through an evolution, getting better and everything. Are you using as well, because you're a biohacker, some biofeedback? And I would say not just like measuring the heart rate or HRV or things like that, but are you going further, like using some ECG, electroencephalograms, or reading on the brain or mapping the brain just to see if their brain is changing shape? Yeah.
Yes, I use EEG neurofeedback,
nice.
And I use hypnagogic light.
Oh, I want to try that.
Combined with hypnosis and mind techniques for a directed, relaxed state, right? I like to use it on purpose to make their new learning stronger, make their new mental world stronger. And yes, I use that with my clients. I use that in my seminars. And I also think that there are so many, in general, the people that I have seen in my seminars and at the beginning when I do the consult, there are a lot of things before that. Like, for example, I wouldn't go directly to neurofeedback if they don't know how to run their own brain, the user manual of the brain, at least the basics, because I want them to learn this and be free. They don't need to come to me or to anyone. They just learn and they use it maybe every once in a while if they want someone to guide them in a process. But I love putting sharing the tools of freedom with people. And the other thing is with the biohacking, the job that you are doing, the job that I'm doing of getting information more accessible, I think it's so important. So for example, I have seen like very big business people, politicians, entrepreneurs that they are lacking energy because they are putting a lot of chemicals in their skin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I want to start there. Like, let's remove the mouthwash, the nasty mouthwash. Let's remove the nasty shampoo, the nasty cream, and all these things. Or at least let's be conscious about this. For women, okay, if every once in a while you want to use some makeup, but be aware, and you can use some healthy shampoo, you can use some healthy cream. Let's start removing all the nasty things.
The chemicals, the toxics. But here's the thing. I think that yes, we need to provide information and disseminate information to make others better and even better than we are. There is 2 points on that. I believe that we need to provide accurate information. That's one. And the second is we need not to scare people, because I see some biohackers every single day starting their video by, don't do that. Don't use this. Don't do that for the fame of getting likes and views. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see these posts. I just on mine, it's just not coming into my my scroll down, just because it's an aggressive way of talking to people. No one needs stress. You try to have people with the lower stress possible. So our job is probably to make people feel good and not feel scared about everything. Otherwise, you're going to have even more clients, of course, but that's not the goal. We want this world to be better.
Yes, I agree. I believe in flexibility. I think that it's important to be flexible, to inform with love, kindness, even with fun, even make it fun. People send me a lot of memes when they use this app that I share, like Ingrid or Think Dirty, Yuka app, and they scan what they have in their bathroom and they're laughing. Oh my God, I've been putting on kryptonite. Yeah, I agree. It's so important to keep it in a long kind way. And it's, oh my God, it is so good. And now I know this information and I can change, and I'm going to have a lot of more energy. And the same goes with educating the basics about light exposure, about this looking at light or moving, some things about food. I see a lot of these people that I tell you, like big businessmen, businesswoman, and okay, so what are you eating? Or maybe they say, like, the doctor told me to eat bread with organic jam. And margarine, something like this. So no, let's remove the bad oils, and it's a huge step, removing the chemicals, removing the bad oils. Then suddenly they're feeling much better. They're thinking on purpose. They know the basics of biohacking in a flexible way. I fully agree with
it's true, in a flexible way. Absolutely, you are right, in the flexible way, because here's the thing. Our society is made this way, okay? We have these government agencies putting ban on certain product, authorization on others, studies that are made on this product. And in my head comes one particular case, like aspartame and sugar. For years, we've said first at the beginning, we want to replace sugar. Well, we come with aspartame. Aspartame is good. It makes you strong, blah. Then ban. Aspartame is toxic. You're going to die if you use up aspartame. 20 years later, you learn that aspartame has no toxicity and it's actually okay. And I've seen people saying, like, sugar is bad, ban the sugar. We just forget that the evolution of our species, the first thing that we were trying to get is sugar from fruits, from things like that. We should make our communication more accurate, is ban added sugar or sugar that is not required in your life. So this is the way we communicate, and what is true today may not be true tomorrow. And I'm always scared about giving those type of advices to people unless it comes to common sense. one of the example of common sense is, okay, you want to lose weight. The calculation is very simple. Calorie in, calorie out. Don't go on keto or low carb or whatever diet. It's just like make the count of what you eat and eat clean. And that is like common sense. And this is what biohacking is. It should be, don't you think?
Yes, I love the flexible approach, and I think that it's so important to be, for every one of us, to be mindful that we are all learning here, that things can change, to be flexible in our thinking so that we can continue learning, because the worst things that I find is from people with very rigid mental worlds. And there comes the haters and all these things that is in
racist and haters. Yeah, it's because they're not educated to be flexible, to have a flexible mindset. You are right. We should all learn to be flexible.
Yes, I fully agree. I think that this is a great human value, and to know that there are things that we don't know, and we have to listen to things that we don't agree, so that we can continue learning.
Yeah,
and that's fabulous.
Yeah. And even if we're going to live up to 150 years, we're still going to not know everything. Even with all these years, life is a learning process, and the entire life is not enough to learn everything, but we have to keep learning. I agree on that. Now, the time flies, and I want to talk about your book, because that's the only book in Spanish about biohacking.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, for the Spanish-speaking community, if you want to read a book about biohacking and mind technology, you can get this book. It's called Biohacker, that is behind me, Editorial Planeta. You can get it anywhere in the world. Tell your Spanish friends. And also, can I make an announcement related to this? Well, we are doing the first Cumbre Biohacker, like a biohacker part, at the biohacking conference in Orlando this year. It's
June,
the first time.
with Dave Asprey. Nice. Yes. I'll be there.
Oh my God, we're gonna have so much fun, and it is so amazing to spread the information to the Spanish-speaking world. Yeah. So if you have Spanish-speaking friends,
in Miami, there's a lot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, here is like, I would say 60% of people are speaking Spanish. I'm learning Spanish. I understand it. I don't speak it. But I've seen that Jim Quick is putting a huge effort to communicate in Spanish as well. The community is big. You know what? Biohackers Magazine is going to be available in Spanish.
Amazing. The first ever magazine of biohacking in Spanish, because there's none in the world. It will be the first and only one.
But now we're waiting for you to contribute.
Absolutely.
You need to write an article into it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Melina, it's awesome to talk to you. You're full of energy. It's like positivity all the way. I remember when I bumped into you. You were with I don't remember her name, but you came in Los Angeles, and you were like full of energy. And actually, after that, we missed seeing each other. We were supposed to have a drink or a talk, and but those shows are so busy. But up to next in Orlando, I promise.
We are going to dance together. We are going to drink some cava, toast, dance, try some machines together. You are going to give me some tips to improve my fitness and strength. Yes?
Yes.
I take your word, because you're the number one. Like, you really know about that, and I'm so learning.
Come on. Thank you. It was lovely. It was awesome. I admire you. You're fantastic.
Oh, you are fantastic. We are mirrors, and we are connected with our life purpose in common, to do goodness, to share with love, with flexibility, and this is fabulous. This is fabulous too. But like you, I like talking about the vitamin people. So
I love it.
This is you. vitamin people all around. Yeah,
Yeah.
spreading
That's
the
good.
connection between the vitamin people.
That's awesome. That's a great definition. I love it. Thank you so much. Much love.
Much love.
Thank you, Melina.